Sarah, there's a sold sign on your lawn, right in front of your house.
That's impossible. I never agreed to sell, Michelle said. It was just a valuation.
Sarah ended the call and drove the 3 towns back, her knee aching with every push on the pedal. As she turned onto her street, the sign stabbed into her sight, a red sold staked into her own front yard. She walked to it, touched the fresh ink, the Realty logo she didn't recognize. Her hands shook.
This house is mine. Paid for. How did a sold sign get here?
Inside, the quiet house felt violated. She remembered the hidden security cameras her husband installed in 2019, still running.
Robert made sure this house would always be watched. Is the system still recording?
She went to the study. The computer ran the old interface, 18 months of footage, untouched for years.
If anyone stepped foot in here without me knowing, those cameras will tell me.
She clicked on a date 6 months back when the motion logs showed activity in the living room. The feed lit up. Her living room. Michelle walked in, followed by a realtor. The realtor carried a folder and a tablet. Her nameplate read Carla.
Michelle told me that woman was here for evaluation. That was a lie.
Carla pulled out a document, tapping a line near the bottom. Michelle nodded, her smile cold.
A signature line. What are they trying to make me sign?
The timestamp, Thursday, 10:17 a.m. The exact hour of her physical therapy. Another clip, a week later. Same women, same couch, a laptop open among the papers.
They came back. They knew when I'd be out every time.
Her fingers dug into the mouse. The footage had recorded far more than this one conspiracy. She opened a date from 3 months earlier. The kitchen camera, triggered 10 minutes after Sarah left. Michelle sat at the kitchen counter, a pen in hand, a sample of Sarah's handwriting next to a notepad. She traced Sarah's loops and slants, again and again, her lips moving as if counting the strokes.
That's my signature. She's been learning it for months.
She fast-forwarded to a clip flagged 2 weeks later. The living room. Michelle on a phone call. Michelle paced, her voice low but clear. She's going into a home in November anyway. This is just speeding it up.
A home? She's planning to put me away, selling my house out from under me.
The call ended. Michelle stared at the phone for a moment, then smiled. A small, satisfied smile. Sarah pushed back from the desk. The betrayal was complete. She needed someone who knew the law.
8 hours of footage. That's more than enough for a judge to see.
Sarah lifted the receiver and dialed a number she had known for 30 years.
Harrison, it's Sarah. I am sorry to call so late, but I need legal help tonight.
Sarah, you sound shaken. What happened?
My daughter-in-law forged my signature on sale documents. The realtor, Carla, was in on it. I have security footage, Harrison, hours of it.
Forgery? Then we move fast. Bring that footage to my office first thing tomorrow. We'll file an emergency injunction.
I'll be there at 8. I am not letting them take my home, Harrison.
We won't just stop the sale. We'll name Carla, the notary, and your daughter-in-law in the lawsuit. No one gets away with this.
Thank you. I knew I could count on you.
The line went dead. Sarah sat for a moment, the weight of what was coming settling on her shoulders. She moved the video files to a secure drive, each clip a small victory, and placed it in her bag for the morning. At 8 sharp, Sarah sat across from Harrison in his office, the drive already connected to his computer.
This is extensive, Sarah. The practice sessions alone are enough to show clear intent.
It gets worse. You haven't seen the phone call clip yet.
Harrison paused the footage and pulled up the county property records. His face tightened as he read.
5 days. The closing is set for 5 days from now.
5 days. I thought there would be more time.
We'll file the injunction today, but we need to move fast. I'll have my clerk prepare the papers now.
Harrison lifted the receiver and dialed. His voice clipped as he issued instructions.
Yes, prepare the emergency injunction and the complaint. Name the daughter-in-law, the realtor, and the notary as defendants. top priority.
The race against the calendar had begun. Sarah's home now depended on the stroke of a judge's pen. Sarah navigated to a clip flagged by the motion logs as notary visit. The footage showed the living room again, this time with a man in a gray suit setting a stamp and seal on the table. Michelle slid a document toward him. She wrote Sarah Reeves in a smooth, practiced hand. The notary, Frank, according to the seal, barely glanced at the signature before he pressed his stamp.
He didn't check her ID. He didn't even ask. He was paid to look the other way.
This seals it. He'll be on the complaint along with the realtor.
Good. I want everyone who touched this to answer for it.
Harrison printed the clip and added it to the evidence folder, his expression grim. The notary's involvement turned a family betrayal into a wider professional conspiracy. Sarah felt a fresh surge of disgust, but also a cold satisfaction. Every name added was one more rope around them. Later that afternoon, Sarah sat in her living room and opened her phone's message thread with Michelle. A message from 3 months ago read, "Just a routine valuation. Nothing to worry about. Thought you'd want to know."
She wrote that after she'd already met with the realtor, after she'd practiced my signature.
She scrolled further. A message from the week the sign went up. So busy with work, forgot to mention. A couple of signs went up near the neighborhood. Might see a sold one by mistake. Ignore it.
By mistake. She planted that sign and told me to ignore it.
She took screenshots of every message, every date, every careful lie and added them to the digital folder.
She made me doubt myself for months. Every friendly message was a cover.
The anger that threatened to spill over settled into something colder, something she could use.
Gaslighting won't work anymore. I have every word she said.
She was no longer just a victim. She was the one building a case piece by piece. The next morning, Sarah walked into Harrison's office, the folder of phone screenshots now bundled with the video evidence.
The complaint names Michelle, Carla, and Frank. The injunction requests immediate reversal of the sale.
He spread the final pages across the desk. The signature lines were still blank.
This is the pen that will take back my house.
She signed where he pointed. Once, twice, 3 times. Not a single tremor.
I'll courier these to the courthouse now. The judge knows the urgency.
What if the judge doesn't see the footage in time?
Then we escalate. But the date on that forgery alone should be enough.
He slipped the documents into an envelope and handed them to a waiting paralegal. Sarah walked to the window and looked down at the street. Everything outside looked the same. Nothing inside was. Back home, Sarah stood in the living room, the lens of camera one glinting in the corner.
The law is grinding forward, but I need to watch her face. I need David to watch it too. Harrison, I am inviting David and Michelle to dinner on Sunday. I am going to play the footage, right in front of them.
Sarah, that's risky. Emotions will spike. Let the legal process work without interference.
David needs to see what she did. He'll never believe a police report the way he'll believe his own eyes.
If you do this, record nothing new, and don't say anything that could weaken the case. Just play the clips.
I'll just press play. They'll supply the rest.
She hung up, walked to the television, and tested the input feed from the security drive. The screen flickered to life, a frozen frame of her empty living room, the timestamp ready to roll.
Right under camera 1. Exactly where they'll be sitting.
She picked up the cordless phone from the end table, pressed it to her ear, and dialed David's number after a long, steadying breath.
Mom? It's late. Everything okay?
I am fine, sweetheart. I was thinking, why don't you and Michelle come for Sunday dinner? I haven't cooked for you in weeks.
David's voice brightened immediately. He had no clue what was about to be uncovered.
That sounds great, Mom. What time?
From the kitchen, Michelle's voice sliced through the moment, cold and sharp. Sunday. We had plans that night.
We can reschedule, babe. It's my mom.
The silence that followed was heavy. Then Michelle's reply came, each word like a chip of ice. Fine, one dinner, then we talk about the valuation.
I'll see you both at 6 then. Good night, David.
The line went dead. Sarah set the phone aside and picked up the remote thumb on play. The countdown had begun. At noon, the next day, the phone rang. Harrison's name glowed on the caller ID.
Sarah, the judge signed it. The sale is frozen, the injunction held.
Thank God. For a moment I thought. Thank you, Harrison.
But there's something else, something you need to see.
He sent a file to her email, a loan document stamped with the house's title.
A home equity loan for $60,000, taken out 4 months ago, signed Sarah Reeves.
Another forgery. I never signed that loan. That's my name in her handwriting.
It's attached to the property now. We have to prove fraud. Until then, the debt sits against the house.
She not only tried to steal my home, she bled money out of it first.
The dinner was still on. She would make Michelle answer for every dollar, every signature, every lie. Sarah had kept the live feed open on her laptop in the study, watching every motion log. Mid-afternoon, a motion alert chirped. The front door camera. Michelle stepped onto the porch, unannounced. She used a key, a copy Sarah never authorized, and slipped inside.
She's a day early. Why? Does she suspect something?
Michelle walked directly to the living room, her head swiveling as if searching. She paused beneath camera 1. Her eyes traveled up the wall and stopped at the small black lens. She stared at it for a full 10 seconds.
She's looking right at it. Does she know the footage goes to my laptop?
Then Michelle turned away, opened a drawer in the side table, and slid out the old valuation forms. Carla had left. She shoved the papers into her bag and left without touching anything else. The door clicked shut 3 minutes later.
She was checking on her lies. The dinner has to be perfect. No mistakes.
Sarah spent Saturday morning setting the dining table. Cranberry linens, her husband's silverware, the china they saved for holidays. She placed 3 glasses, 3 plates, a knife at each. The scene of a family dinner, and the trap in the living room. She connected the security drive to the television, the HDMI cable hidden behind the console. She pressed the remote. The screen lit up. The frozen timestamp, the empty couch. Then she killed the power, leaving it ready.
When I press play tomorrow, Michelle will see herself, and David will see the truth.
She walked to the hall mirror, her reflection framed by the dusty rose blouse she had chosen for the occasion.
No anger in my voice, no tears, just the clips. Let the pictures do the talking.
She rehearsed it once, twice, a calm, deliberate nod, a slow reach for the imaginary remote, a steady gaze. By evening, everything was set. The house smelled of rosemary and clean linens. Sarah stood in the living room, remote in hand.
Camera 1 is above them. The record light is off, but the feed is live. I'll let them lie until I am ready.
At 6 o'clock on the dot, headlights swept across the driveway. David's sedan pulled up behind the hedge. Sarah opened the front door before they could knock, her face arranged into a pleasant welcome.
Smells wonderful in here. Did you make my favorite? That herb-crusted chicken?
I made the chicken you like so much. Come on in. The dining room is ready.
They walked into the living room, the same room where, on the television's hidden drive, their recorded betrayal waited.
The house looks better than ever. You've really brightened it up.
I've had more time at home lately. Please have a seat right there, the spot under the painting.
Mom, you really went all out. This is great. Just like old times.
We should do this more often. I've been so busy with work, and keeping tabs on that silly realtor.
She's still selling the lie. A few more minutes, and that smile will break.
Speaking of the house, I meant to tell you. The realtor's assistant put up that sold sign by mistake. I called and had it corrected.
Is that so? Interesting. I've already taken steps to make sure the situation is handled properly.
Wait, what sign? I thought the realtor was just doing a valuation.
It was, honey. The sign was a mix-up. Sarah and I have discussed it before. Just a paperwork glitch.
Sarah let the lie hang in the air for a long, deliberate second before she spoke again.
The chicken is getting cold. Let's enjoy what's on the table before we move to what's on the television.
What's on the television? Mom, what is going on?
Now, no more lies. I have something to show you both.
Her thumb pressed the power button. The television filled with the frozen timestamp of her living room, the same room where they now sat. Sarah pressed play. The frozen timestamp came alive, the screen filling with grainy motion. The feed showed the living room door. Michelle stepped inside, a realtor behind her, folder in hand. The realtor's voice crackled. "This is the final sale contract, Michelle. Once signed, it's done."
Wait, that's our living room. That's you. Who is that woman?
Her name is Carla. She's a realtor. Not for a valuation, for a sale.
On screen, Michelle smiled and nodded. The real Michelle sat rigid, the blood draining from her face.
Michelle, answer me. What is this?
Keep watching. There's more. The part where she practiced my signature at this kitchen counter is next.
The screen changed to the kitchen camera. Michelle sat with a pen, tracing Sarah's name over and over, a pen scratched on paper from the television. In the room, no one moved. Michelle's mouth opened and closed, no sound emerging. From the television, Michelle's recorded voice filled the room. "She's going into a home in November anyway. This is just speeding it up."
A nursing home? You were planning to put my mother in a home?
Michelle tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't hold her. She sank back into the chair, white-knuckled. Sarah clicked the remote, and the screen changed to the notary appointment. Frank sliding papers across the coffee table. On the screen, Frank stamped the document without even glancing at the signature.
You brought a notary here? You forged her signature with a witness?
That's not all. There's a $60,000 loan she took out in my name.
The screen went black. The room fell into a ringing silence, broken only by Michelle's shallow, panicked breathing.
Do you understand now, David?
She was going to sell my mother's house.
The sale is already frozen, David. An emergency injunction.
She pulled a folder from the side table and laid it flat. The lawsuit exhibit clips, the loan forgery.
Forgery. Fraud. Identity theft. I named you, Carla and Frank, in the complaint.
You can't prove any of that. Those hidden cameras aren't admissible in court.
The judge already admitted them. The injunction held.
Michelle's face twisted into something ugly. She looked to David, then back to Sarah, searching for an escape.
Admissible? You are worried about admissible? You forged her name and sold her house out from under her?
David's voice broke on the last word. He leaned on the chair, as if the floor had fallen away beneath him.
How could you, my own mother? You were planning to put her in a home.
Sarah remained seated, hands folded in her lap. She had said what needed saying. Now, she let the silence do its work.
You forged my mother's signature. You sat in this room and practiced it. And you want to talk about admissible?
I did it for us. You know she can't take care of this place forever. She's 71.
She's my mother. Her age isn't your weapon. You stole her home.
We needed the money, David. The loan was supposed to pay off our debts. I never meant for her to end up homeless.
Never meant to. You put her house on the market. You paid a notary to overlook your forgery.
Michelle's knees buckled. She caught herself on the chair and lowered into it, sobbing openly.
The loan, the sale, the lies, every one of them is on camera. You don't get to rewrite this.
Get out, Michelle.
Her mouth opened, but no defense came. She looked to David and for the first time found nothing but stone. The dinner was over. The truth had entered the room, and it would not be sent away.
Take your bag, Michelle. You know where the door is?
Michelle snatched her bag and stumbled toward the front door, her heels scraping on the wood. The door slammed. David stood frozen. then let himself fall into the nearest chair, his head dropping into his hands.
David, look at me. You can stay in the guest room. I won't have my son on the street, but you'll pay rent. I am not your bank, and I am not your doormat.
David didn't argue. He raised his eyes, red-rimmed, and gave a single broken nod. He rose slowly and walked toward the guest room without another word, his footsteps heavy on the hallway floor. Sarah stood alone in the living room, the remote still in her hand. The room was quiet now, but it felt clean.
My house, my rules, and this time, no one will take it from me.
The next morning, sunlight fell clean and pale through the hallway as David carried a battered suitcase toward the guest room. He paused at the door, not turning, as if waiting for an objection that never came.
Here. First month.
Sarah took the envelope without counting, her eyes meeting his for the first time since the dinner.
Rent is due on the 1st. Same day every month.
I know. I'm sorry, Mom.
I know you are. Put your things away.
He nodded and disappeared into the guest room. A drawer slid open, then closed, the small sounds of a new beginning. Sarah walked to the living room window and looked out at the street where the sold sign had once stood.
One rent check doesn't fix everything, but it's a start.
Weeks later, Sarah sat in the armchair as dusk filled the room. The cameras blinked silently above her. On the monitor in the study, all 4 feeds showed her house, steady, empty, hers. No strangers, no real estate ladies, no notaries.
Robert installed these for the break-in. He never imagined they'd save the house from our own family.
She pressed a hand to the dusty rose blouse right over her heart and let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. The television sat dark now. The remote lay on the side table. The footage was filed with the court, and the house was hers. She held the house key in her palm a moment, then closed her fingers around it. Not defiant, just sure.
He built this watching for me, even after he was gone.
She lifted her eyes to the camera lens. The red dot blinked, recording nothing of consequence, just a woman at peace. Outside, the sold sign was gone. Inside, the only eyes that mattered were hers, and she would keep watching.